Welcome to the Praise Porch, a place where faith meets real life. Pull up a chair, take a breath, and join us as we reflect on God's goodness, share encouragement, and lift up praise together. The title of this podcast is Love That Chases Us. Have you ever loved someone who didn't love you back the same way? Or maybe they did at first and then they drifted, pulled away, chose something or someone else. That tension between desire and disappointment sits at the heart of two very different kinds of love, human eros and divine agape. And nowhere in Scripture is that contrast more vivid, more uncomfortable, and more beautiful than in the story of the prophet Hosea. Let's start by defining our terms. Eros love is the kind of love most of us know instinctively. It's romantic, passionate longing. It draws to beauty, intimacy, and connection. Eros says, I love you because I desire you. It's not bad, it's God created, but it's fragile. Eros thrives on reciprocity. When affection fades, when trust is broken, Eros often withers. Agape love, on the other hand, is something entirely different. Agape is self-giving, covenantal, and steadfast. It says, I love you because I choose you, not because you deserve it, not because you return it, but because love itself is the point. And Hosea is where those two loves collide. God tells Hosea something shocking. Go marry a woman who will be unfaithful to you. Her name is Gomer, and she embodies Israel's spiritual unfaithfulness. Hosea loves her, he commits to her, and she betrays him again and again. From an Eros perspective, this makes no sense. Eros would say, you gave your heart, you broke it, walk away. Eros seeks mutual desire, shared loyalty, emotional safety. When those are violated, Eros protects itself by pulling back. But God is not asking Hosea to live out Eros love. God is asking him to live out agape. Hosea's marriage becomes a living parable of God's relationship with Israel, and honestly, with us. Gomer runs after other lovers, just as Israel runs after other gods. She chases what promises pleasure, security, and fulfillment, but leaves her empty and enslaved. And yet, this is the stunning part. God tells Hosea not just to endure her unfaithfulness, but to go after her. At one point, Gomer has fallen so far that she is essentially owned by another man. Hosea buys her back. He pays the price for the one who betrayed him. That is not Eros. That is agape. Agape love absorbs the cost instead of demanding repayment. Agape stays when Eros says enough. Agape doesn't deny the pain. Hosea's heartbreak is real, but it refuses to let betrayal have the final word. And this is where Hosea stops being just a story about a troubled marriage and becomes a mirror held up to our own hearts, because we are Gomer. We chase lesser loves. We look for fulfillment and success, relationships, control, pleasure, things that promise much and deliver little. And when life gets hard, we're often tempted to believe God is the problem, not the lover who never left. Yet God's agape love does not compete the way Eros does. God doesn't say, if you just desire me more, I'd love you more. He says, I will love you until you learn what love really is. In Hosea, God declares, I will allure her. I will speak tenderly to her. Not coerce, not shame, not discard. God's agape is persistent but gentle, strong but patient. Here's the key difference. Eros asks, what do I get from this relationship? Agape asks, what can I give, even if it costs me? And ultimately, Hosea points us forward to Jesus. Because on the cross, we see agape in its fullest form. Christ doesn't wait for us to be faithful. He doesn't demand we clean ourselves up first. He pays the price to redeem us while we are still running. Eros would say, come back when you're worthy. Agape says, I'll make you worthy by loving you. So if you've ever felt unlovable, replaceable, or too far gone, Hosea tells you otherwise. God's love is not based on your performance. It's based on his character. And that kind of love doesn't just forgive, it transforms. Because once you've been loved by agape, Eros is no longer your master. Love becomes your calling, and that changes everything. Thanks for listening. If this episode encouraged you, share it with someone who needs the reminder that God's love is unconditional and he loves us in all our messes.